Mhm. So we are in paper 11 of URANTIA book and section 6, space respiration. Who is willing to
Yeah, I'll read.
go?
6. Space respiration. We do not know the actual mechanism of space respiration. We merely observe that all space alternately contracts and expands.
Mhm.
This respiration affects both the horizontal extension of pervaded space and the vertical extensions of unpervaded space, which exist in the vast space reservoirs above and below paradise.
Amazing.
Whew.
I know.
It's like, but there's sort of still room there to do other stuff. In attempting to imagine the volume outlines of these space reservoirs,
Mm.
you might think of an hourglass as the universe horizontal extension of pervaded space expand. The reservoirs of the vertical extension of unpervaded space contract. Huh? And vice versa. There is a confluence of pervaded and unpervaded space just underneath near the paradise.
Mhm.
Both types of space there flow through the transmuting regulation channels
Mhm.
where changes are wrought, making pervadable space non-pervadable
We're just
and vice
talking about.
versa in the contraction and expansion cycles of the cosmos. I wanted to finish the sentence.
That's what we were just talking about, huh? Like, yeah, for me, it's like that, like the same thing, like that, this will thing, like it says, it's under, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's that.
I just think of when we breathe, so we breathe in and the lungs expand, but everything else has to sort of make space for it. And then we breathe out and the rest of what's in there contracts, expands.
Yeah. So now, if you allow yourself to feel something, whatever it is, right in this very moment, and you allow it more, that's why I always say, can you allow it more? I mean, like, can you give it more, can you open more space for it to extend out? Course of Miracles talk about the extension. Yeah. Same thing. It's like you give of yourself and then you contract back in. Anyway, I love how I like how it lands in your body, as an experience. I think this is just constantly remind us what's already in us.
Mm. Unpervaded space means unpervaded by those forces, energies, powers, and presences known to exist in pervaded space. Oh, sorry.
We can't hear it, sweetheart. She's just grabbing a call. Are you going with these guys?
Ah.
Kim. She's thinking about it.
Most of my calls come during this group. Must be an attractive energy.
Must be the respiration, darling, you know? You extend out and people remember you.
Yeah. I'll okay. So how is everyone going?
Kim,
I don't know. Just
in all honesty,
um,
what's the sound?
sound.
Nice.
Ah, I'm a
Mm,
bit I feel a bit jumbled up inside or something.
mm,
I got a call from my daughter last night. She's having the cesarean on Monday for, her second child. And her dad's been just so difficult. She's had to cut him off. Like,
wow.
yeah, he's been, and I think it's very strange. This has all happened since I had that experience of the inner male and female thing happening.
Mhm.
Now, like they've just, both of them have had a gut full of this man and don't want him in their lives at the moment. And the new grandchild's coming and he's going to miss out because of his
Drama.
terrible behavior. And I think I'm in shock because we're both like, it's so unbelievable that this has happened at this point in time. Yeah, it's just,
This might be a good wake up for him.
yeah, we hope so. But he's had lots in the past and he's done nothing about it. So
Right,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Mm.
Um,
Mm. But
but I felt very angry because he's been basically very abusive towards her, you
mm,
know, and he doesn't seem to see what he's doing at all. And
so
it's because he's been drinking again. Like he stops and starts,
mm,
but when he drinks, it's just a horror. And
Mm.
that is, you always have to come back to what does it do to you?
yeah,
Right,
I can,
yeah.
Because it's
Mm.
generating a feeling in you,
yeah, yes,
generating a feeling that wants to breathe. This is the respiration, right? That feeling wants to express itself. So it
but
draws
it's a bit,
itself the situations in which it can express. But we go into the head with it, or we make stories and
Mm.
sort of like judge it, and instead of
yes,
going like, what's my feeling really? Actually, I had to do that last night with myself because I felt this heat inside of me. I'm going like, hang on a second, how am I really feeling? And I could feel I was resisting it.
mm,
And then I went, oh, I'm resisting it, and I just relaxed, and this heat just went through, and I was like, oh, I'm actually at peace now. So it's the same thing. Like it's constantly this expansion. Something wants to express itself, and we're so conditioned not to give it expression.
yes.
So if you just feel
Well,
the feeling of it,
yeah, yeah,
you don't have to process it or anything. Just allow it and really find what's in the core of that feeling. Like what's the core of that feeling, and are you pushing against it? Are you restricting the respiration, or yeah, or
yeah. I'm not sure because
yeah.
I've been through this with him too, where I just had to like cut him off. I had to because of his abuse,
Mm,
and
of course.
I remember when I did it finally. I
Mm,
hadn't been with him for years and years and years,
mm,
so we're always in contact because of the children.
yeah.
And when I finally did it, it was horrific. Like I was surprised at how upsetting it was for me to do that.
Mm,
Um,
yes.
so I don't know. Mm. I, yeah. It's just horrible that they have to go through it as well.
Of course. Yes, particularly
And
this very precious time, isn't it?
yeah, I
And
just
also
look up.
not only precious, but also, also intense. Like,
Yeah. And yeah, intense. It's just,
mm, oh,
I don't
that
know.
would,
I'm in this space of incomprehension because I just
yeah.
don't understand why he's doing this
Mm,
because he doesn't communicate anything.
hmm. But just keep coming back to you,
Yeah.
what is it generating? Why am I magnetizing this kind of situation into my existence? And I know I keep saying this over and over. Unless you put it into practice, it's a sweet theory. But it is the hardest to be able to slow down enough to tune in what's the actual essence of that quality that's happening. Yeah. I know don't feel pushed to do anything. That's like
Mm.
there's no pressure for you to express this anyway. This might come later. Yeah.
It's partly relief. I don't know. It's probably, I know there's more.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
It's just that this place we're trying to avoid.
yeah.
That's that's always the key case, It's like this avoidance of
And do
how
you think
am I
they've
really? Looks
gotten
like
put onto my daughters? I don't know.
you just broke up for a moment.
Oh, I'm just thinking, me avoiding it, they're now carrying that same thing. I don't know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, this one would be good to just, when you're in your own safe space and just to check in, like actually what's the actual real feeling behind this?
Mm.
It will come the minute you invite it, and you
Yeah.
generally really want to know, it just
Yeah, I
comes.
haven't even really started it yet. Just,
Yes.
yeah.
And how is Kevin?
Mm.
I'm not, it, it, I'm actually pretty good, I suppose. I'm not still not tuning into the URANTIA book yet, but yeah,
You
I'm
hanging in there?
Okay.
I'm just hanging in there to see. Yeah,
See, yeah.
it's all right because I can just sort of sit here and you know see what's going on.
Yeah. Beautiful. Good.
Right. Shall I carry on then?
Please.
Mm.
I'll
Yeah.
start from the beginning of that paragraph. Were you going to say something, Kim?
No,
No.
okay.
Okay.
I just feel better suddenly. Just that little bit of saying
Good.
that,
Good.
Good.
Beautiful.
yes.
Because it can keep you kind
Yeah,
of
good.
unpresent from here, you know?
And I realized it was, and I didn't think, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Mm.
And then
Unpervaded space.
hang on a
Shall I
second,
read?
just one more thing. And then can you feel it? Like it begins to move very gently within you.
Yeah, it's not a big
Something goes
difference.
into like a movement. That's the respiration. That's really
Yeah,
within ourselves. That's when it begins to move. It's invisible, but it's tangible if your if receptive centers within you begin to awaken. That's why I keep
yeah,
on going, like awakening these receptive centers, or in Urantia book they call it sensations or stimuli, you know, where you begin to awaken these readers, like, or opening an eye within that can see the eye that wasn't there before. That was asleep. And when that's
yeah.
asleep, we are dreaming. But when that awakens, there's no sleep.
Yeah, I realise,
Mhm.
I mean, there's breathing, but maybe it's different to the full respiration because I tend to hold myself in when, you know, you hang on to your feelings and things. So it's not a proper breathing almost. It's
Yeah.
just this very shallow.
But just like you said, like I feel better. That's what happens when the movement kicks in. When you have a
Yes.
tiny little acceptance, the feelings go, oh my God, I am part of this wholeness. I'm
Well,
Yeah.
no longer in a separate realm. So you
in Course
find,
of Love, it talks about movement being expression, movement
yes,
being expression.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
cannot
Yeah.
be present unless this movement
Beautiful.
going on. It's all one thing.
It's true because I just wasn't present before. Yeah.
And when you don't feel
Mm.
whole within yourself, you can't know God because God is wholeness in a way,
Mm.
in a very primitive explanation way of explaining it. Alrighty, we're going good.
Right?
Very good.
Okay.
Everyone ready?
Yes,
Yes.
Shall I dive back in?
yes, please save us from.
Paragraph 3. Unpervaded space means unpervaded by those forces, energies, powers, and presences known to exist in pervaded space. We do not know whether vertical reservoir space is destined always to function as the equipoise of horizontal universe space. We do not know whether there is a creative intent concerning unpervaded space.
Mhm.
We really know very little about the space reservoirs, merely that they exist, and that they seem to counterbalance the space expansion contraction cycles of the universe of universes.
Yes. Wow.
Mm.
The cycles of space respiration extend in each phase for a little more than 1 billion Urantia years.
Oh my God.
What are your anchovies? Years.
Our, like, just the way we count our calendar days, like
Oh
one
yeah,
of 1 year. There's this,
Yeah, but
like,
yeah.
you know,
I forgot.
you'll read later that in different spheres they have a very different time.
Yeah,
Like what's a minute in us for them is like, you know,
yeah.
whatever.
No, I just forgot we were on your rancher. That's how tuned in I am.
Yeah,
Um,
during one phase of during one phase, the universes expand. During the next, they contract.
Wow.
Pervaded space is now approaching the midpoint of the expanding phase, while unpervaded space nears the midpoint of the contracting phase, and we are informed that the outermost limits of both space extensions are theoretically now approximately equidistant from paradise.
Mm.
The unpervaded space reservoirs now extend vertically above upper paradise and below nether paradise, just as far as the pervaded space of the universe extends horizontally outward from peripheral paradise to and even beyond the fourth outer space level. Reminds me of the equinox. For 1 billion years of Urantia time, The space reservoirs contract while the master universe and the force activities of all horizontal space expand. It thus requires a little over 2 billion Urantia years to complete the entire expansion contraction cycle, as
Amazing.
in one in breath and one out breath.
Very slow breathers over there.
Yeah. Shall I carry on, or does someone else want to?
There's an incredible thing. Have you heard of this Buteyko breathing?
Yeah, I'm
No.
supposed to be practicing that, but I can't go near it for some reason. Yeah, I've got all the links and everything, and I don't know why I
It's a,
can't do it.
it's
Mm.
basically he trains. He says we are over breathers. We're breathing too fast. When we breathe
Mm.
too fast, we accelerate our thinking. That's his approach, which is very true. And how you find out? By doing it. So how
Mm.
it works, let's say right now you're taking a breath that's about this much, let's say. So he suggests now your next breath, take this much in instead.
In the same time.
You know, like when you breathe in, you just don't go, but you go and then go out and then make as long pause as you can comfortably handle. And then take another breath that's even smaller than the previous one, but very slowly. So you know, let's say that's your breath, and your next breath is gonna be just about this much. And then you breathe out, you pause, and your next breath is gonna be just a tiny little bit less in. Yeah.
Mm.
If you do this, you will come into state where suddenly your breath stops. You will go into a place where you go like, oh my God, I don't really need to breathe. But what
Yes.
happened at the same time, your mind will go so still that you might have never experienced anything like it in your life. It goes so still, it's crazy. You almost go into a little bit of panic. It's like, oh my God, I don't have to take a breath. And then you will feel that something else within you begins to breathe. Like it's almost like,
Mm.
we have this thinking and then we have this breathing going on. It settles down, and as like suddenly your being begins to breathe differently. Like you take in prana rather than just air.
Interesting.
Oh.
I used to get a sort of almost an experience of that when I was a kid, where I'd
Yeah,
find that I was hardly taking any breath and I didn't need to. It was like very
that's it.
tiny little,
Yes,
it was almost indiscernible what I was actually
yes,
breathing, and I'd be very relaxed and
yep.
yeah,
And then you just sit there and going like, wow, I'm not breathing and I'm totally comfortable. But the mind, how it goes quiet with that is is profound.
Oh. I
Yeah.
wonder if babies do that because I remember my second daughter, when she was sleeping, you
Hmm.
couldn't hear her breathe. You could hear nothing. It was almost like she wasn't breathing at
Yep,
all. And I
yep,
had to check if she was still alive.
yeah, yeah. My son used to do the same thing and flip me out. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
not breathing.
What? Yeah. Oh, this is yeah, it's interesting.
Hmm.
I must get onto it. I was supposed to do it for my asthma.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what they designed it. What they find that when they start doing this, they suddenly asthmatics became because it's you go into the system goes into spasm, and that
Mm.
you can't take a breath. But when you do this, your whole system just goes soothing. It takes about 10 minutes until you settle into it. I can send you this really lovely, I've got beautiful audio of this guy from Ireland. He's got this lovely accent. And
Uh-huh.
it's about 20 minutes long, and it kind of gets you to relax your belly and relax your body. And then he slowly says, now you take a little bit less breath. And he guides you through it, which makes it very easy.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to do it. Someone does it for you.
Right. Maybe
In that
that's
sense, it gives you this like I need do nothing state to just follow.
right.
Mhm.
Oh,
Remind me, I'll send it to you.
yeah, thanks. Yeah.
If anybody else wants it.
Yeah,
Mm.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do some reading.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. 7. Space functions of paradise. Space does not exist on any of the surfaces of paradise. If one looked directly up from the upper surface of paradise, one would see nothing but unpervaded space going out or coming in, just now coming in.
But that first sentence, and space does not exist on any of the
Surfaces, yeah, that's weird,
amazing.
isn't it? Space does not touch paradise. Only the quiescent mid-space zones come in contact with the central ion. Paradise is the actually motionless nucleus of the relatively quiescent zones existing between pervaded and unpervaded space. Geographically, these zones appear to be a relative extension of paradise, but there probably is some motion in them.
Hmm.
We know very little about them, but we observe that these zones of lessened space motion separate pervaded and unpervaded space.
Mm.
Similar zones once existed between the levels of pervaded space, but these are now less quiescent.
I love it when these advanced beings say, we don't know much about it.
Yeah, God. The vertical cross-section of total space would slightly resemble a Maltese cross, with the horizontal arms representing pervaded universe space and the vertical arms representing unpervaded reservoir space. The
Mm.
areas between the four arms would separate them somewhat as the mid-space zones separate pervaded and unpervaded space. These quiescent mid-space zones grow larger and larger at greater and greater distances from paradise and eventually encompass the borders of all space and completely encapsulate both the space reservoirs and the entire horizontal extension of pervaded space. Borders of all space. I don't know, that's like, what?
Yeah. But you see, when you begin to feel these things, that gives you a different level of understanding of all of this. This is why the schools of feelings are equal in a number of schools of thought.
Hmm.
It makes no sense at all to me, and I'm a bit irritated by that.
I love when you say that.
Space is neither a sub-absolute condition within nor the presence of the unqualified absolute. neither is it a function of the ultimate. It is a bestowal of paradise, and the space of the grand universe and that of all outer regions is believed to be actually pervaded by the ancestral space potency of the unqualified absolute. From near approach to peripheral paradise, this pervaded space extends horizontally outward through the fourth space level and beyond the periphery of the master universe. But how far beyond we do not know.
Yeah.
If you imagine a finite but inconceivably large V-shaped plane situated at right angles to both the upper and lower surfaces of paradise, with its point nearly tangent to peripheral paradise, and then visualize this plane in elliptical revolution about paradise, its revolution would roughly outline the volume of pervaded space.
Oh, that makes it clear, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, crystal. Gobbledygook.
These people who are these beings who are who are giving us this information maybe don't realize that I don't even know what tangent is. And that's one of our words.
Tangent.
I think that's when something's just touching at the edges or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Ah,
It's a mathematical term.
yes,
Straight
mathematical.
line or plane that touches a curve or curved surface at a point, but if extended, does not cross it at that point. That makes it clear, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, crystal clear.
It's so lovely. It's so lovely not to know, isn't it?
Oh, thank God we don't have to work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
nice if you can, but if you can't, then
well, it's this is the coming to know.
yeah.
When we empty out what we think everything is, and then we empty a space for receiving something that's,
Talking about pervaded and unpervaded space.
that,
We don't
Oh,
know. Unpervaded space is that which we don't know.
wow. Oh,
that's why this
there
is
is.
the this is a fifth epochal revelation. So they are revealing to us something that we had no idea existed. I mean,
Mm,
Bible doesn't go into this depth. Bible's very surface, on a way, in a way. But this is revealing things that fourth epochal revelation, which they called the Bible, was obviously didn't cover this, or maybe covered it in some way that it's very hard to comprehend as well. I mean, how much of the Bible do you really understand?
oh,
Well, it
not much.
reveals itself to you if you give
Yeah,
it the time.
yeah. I listened to one guy from Africa. He was saying interesting things. He used to say, unless you really do fasting, you cannot possibly understand the Bible. And he was saying, like, when I fasted 7 days, I would read the Bible, I'd be blown away. But if I fasted 14 days, that would be like a whole next level to the understanding. So what do you know? Mhm.
Mm, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because different receptors within you begin to be able to read instead of digest the junk we eat.
Yeah, I heard something about someone talking about when the disciples were unable to heal people and they were told they had to go and fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, there was that. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this fasting, I think there's a lot more to it. Yeah,
Definitely.
So
yeah.
far, I haven't managed to fast more than a day.
Me either. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Because
Mm.
what happens, like, your energy comes from food then, right? Imagine you don't put food in there. The body is so profoundly intelligent. It will begin to resource different energies. It will
Mm.
it will live of completely different vibrations. But while you're feeding it, it goes, oh, I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is digest this, assimilate it, eliminate it, and cleanse it.
Well, it doesn't have a chance to do anything else, does it? Because it's so busy doing that constantly, because we're constantly just taking in food.
Well, I'm finding the intermittent fasting really actually, even intermittent fasting works quite well for me.
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
that's, I only give it like sometimes I eat at 10, but sometimes I eat at 1:32.
Yep.
And just that break, it gives me a much better, it gives my system a break. It just gives it a chance to breathe almost.
Yeah. So
Mm.
what's your window like usually around midday until evening or
I eat, yeah, so around midday until about 6 or 7 at the latest, normally. I've
and
only just started doing it. That was when I got sick.
when you get to a point where you just you kind of you will actually find that it's very easy to stay hungry. So you eat at 1 and then you finish at 5. So I
Yeah.
mean you only ate 4 hours and now 20 hours is fasting.
Yeah.
You sleep.
And I noticed that because after my mum died, I was eating a lot, pushing down emotion, I think, pushing down feelings, just trying to cope in some ways. And I realized, I just have to stop. I have to stop this. It's like,
Mm.
but, you know, I found that in the evening, sometimes I hardly want to eat anything. I have a good lunch, maybe a snack in the afternoon, but when it comes to evening, in the past, I'd eat a huge meal.
Mm.
And lately, I've just been eating quite a lot less, and I don't miss the food. I wake up in the morning, I'm not hungry. If I do get hungry, often it's actually thirst. I
It's
have a
hard.
drink.
It's often thirst, and it's often just those sensations. Like you're actually not really hungry. You're just
Mm.
so conditioned to eat something.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm conditioned to think about food the instant I wake up in the
Yep.
morning. What am I going to have for breakfast? Oh,
Yep.
come on, I'm not even hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, us
Although I do have
plant-based.
coffee.
Yeah, coffee is
I do have coffee with some oat milk. That's what I'm doing. I used to have it with honey as well, but I don't.
yep.
So, you know.
Anyway, we're awakening this receptive center with which we can understand some of this differently.
Mm.
Yeah,
There is an
might try
upper,
different type of
oh,
things.
sorry.
Sorry, carry on.
There is an upper and a lower limit to horizontal space with reference to any given location in the universes. If one could move far enough at right angles to the plane of a wanton, either up or down, eventually the upper or lower limit of pervaded space would be encountered.
Hmm,
Mm.
that's
Right.
Mhm.
different.
Within the known dimensions of the master universe, these limits draw farther and farther apart at greater and greater distances from paradise. Space thickens and it and it thickens somewhat faster than does the plane of creation, the universes. Gosh, thickens.
I have no idea what space is. I realise.
No, that's yes. I don't know. I suddenly thought, oh, it's vast and it's vast and it's so huge, but it's still in like a bubble thing. I don't know. Like there's edges, maybe. The relatively quiet zones between the space levels, such as the one separating the 7 super universes from the first outer space level, are enormous elliptical regions of quiescent space activities. These zones separate the vast galaxies which race around paradise in orderly procession. Oh my goodness. You may visualize the first outer space level where untold universes are now in process of formation as a vast procession of galaxies swinging around paradise, bounded above and below by the mid-space zones of quiescence, and bounded on the inner and outer margins by relatively quiet space zones.
Like if I say, enter a quiet zone, it's right there.
Mm.
Yeah. Keep entering the quiet zone. And now notice how instantly you enter a realm. Because this is also a microcosm, macrocosm. All of this is within you. That's how I experience this book. I don't really imagine it so much outside in a space and time. For me, so experiential. And boom, like in an instant, suddenly you're in a different zone. And then you stay there and step back and allow this to explain itself to you, inform you of what it is. How's the irritation, Alison?
Ugh.
There's 2 more paragraphs left.
Go, darling.
Yeah. A space level thus functions as an elliptical region of motion, surrounded on all sides by relative motionlessness. Such relationships of motion and quiescence constitute a curved space path of lessened resistance to motion, which is universally followed by cosmic force and emergent energy as they circle forever around the Isle of Paradise. Lessened resistance to motion. This alternate zoning of the master universe in association with the alternate clockwise and counterclockwise flow of the galaxies is a factor in the stabilization of physical gravity designed to prevent the accentuation of gravity pressure to the point of disruptive and dispersive activities. Such an arrangement exerts anti-gravity influence and acts as a brake upon otherwise dangerous velocities. Oh dear. Hmm.
It feels like they're talking about physics,
Yeah.
like what do you call it? Like when you go break down the tiniest to the tiniest particles, it feels a bit like they're describing those.
Quantum.
Quantum physics,
Just gonna
but on a vast level.
grab myself a
Yeah.
drink. I'm happy to read the Paradise Gravity. You just need to go to Lou and just give me a
Okay.
Okay. I might take.
Yes. I hated textbooks when I was at school. This is uh, mm,
Paradise gravity. You know, I sort of wonder if I read through this slowly in my own time, I might actually pick up some more of it, of what they're talking about.
it's going to be interesting how yeah, we evolve as we get through it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I love what's happening in the course of love, you know, with that, because I feel like there are shifts happening for me with that, but they
Yeah.
kind of,
But
yeah,
it
they
took
seem
a long
to
time.
coincide with this as well, in a
Yeah,
sense.
sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's taken a long time. Did you were doing the course of love the first time round as well, weren't you, Kim?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you were
Definitely much
taking,
different the second time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot different. Um, so it shows you need to persevere. Like
Yeah,
just
so I think it's
keep
what
at it.
Cole says too about
Mm.
like learning to allow, you know, getting to a point where you can allow the feeling side of things to come through.
Mm. Yeah, there's so many barriers that I'm just not aware that are there. So,
Yeah.
ah,
I had a I think it was yesterday or the day before, I started reading the URANTIA book and I just couldn't stop.
it's great when that happens, isn't it?
I think I was reading The Eternal Sun. I was reading that. I went through the last bit of that and then I went back to the beginning of it and started reading that. And the only reason I stopped was I had things to get up and get on with.
Mm.
But yeah, it's nice when you can actually tune into it.
Yeah. Well, the eternal sun's the one that affects you, isn't it? when you read it.
It has been, yeah, it has been the one that's
Yeah,
sort of, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. One day we might understand what's actually going on
Yeah,
within
and
us, you know.
I've been reading about the Lucifer rebellion as well. That's quite interesting, but
Mm.
and I really had no understanding of why they would why why it's been dealt with in the manner it has been, but that's right. I
What
don't have
paper
to
was that?
understand.
The previous one, we read that a while back, not the about the Father, the Eternal Son.
Yeah, I've been reading that, but I've also been reading about the Lucifer rebellion and how it's been dealt with. But then I opened it up somewhere else and read, oh, this is really interesting. Oh yeah, talk about Adam and Eve as well.
Yeah, it's all there,
I
isn't it?
opened it up there and I went, oh, this is different from what I expected it to be, of course.
Oh, there's the one called Sin, Sacrifice, and Atonement. That will be interesting.
Well, and also just really clarifies who they really were. Adam and Eve, like the very different
Yeah.
characters than we know from Bible.
And it sounds like they're going to be brought back to bring in some more genetic material,
Yeah,
according to,
we have a lot to look forward to, guys.
yeah, it's
Uh,
All right, shall we do Paradise Gravity? You still have something left in you?
yeah.
yeah, I could go a bit more.
Oh gosh, I love coffee. Paradise Gravity, the inescapable pull of gravity effectively grips all the worlds of all the universes of all space. Gravity is the all powerful grasp of the physical presence of paradise. Gosh, I love this stuff. Gravity is the omnipotent strand on which are strung the gleaming stars, blazing suns, and whirling spheres which constitute the
Uh,
universal physical adornment of the eternal God. Oh my God, I'm going to come in a minute. Of the eternal God, who is all things, fills all things, and in whom all things consist. I mean, I could just live on this paragraph for a week. Spiritual nurturance, not nurturance, sustenance. The
Yes,
central,
man does not live by bread alone.
yeah, that's it.
Uh,
The central and the focal point of absolute material gravity is the Isle of Paradise, complemented by the dark gravity bodies encircling Havana and equilibrated by the upper and the nether space reservoirs, all known emanations of nether paradise invariably and unerringly respond to the central gravity pull operating upon the endless circuits of the elliptical space levels of the master universe. Oh. Every known form of cosmic reality has the bend of the ages, the trend of the cycles, the swing
Circle.
Circle.
the swing of the great ellipse. Ellipse?
Ellipse.
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 Wow.
The ellipse is like the
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a flattened circle, is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a lengthened circle. It's like it's
Yeah.
how we rotate around rotate around the sun, like we
Right.
move around.
Space is non-responsive to gravity, but it acts as an equilibrant on gravity. Without the space cushion, explosive action would jerk surrounding these bodies.
What? Surrounding space bodies.
Surrounding
Explosive?
space bodies. Okay, let me just start it again.
Yeah.
Space is non-responsive to gravity, but it acts as an equilibrant on gravity. Without the space cushion, cushion,
Yep.
explosive action would jerk around the space bodies.
Jerk surrounding space bodies.
Thank you. Pervaded space, all externed. What? Exerts.
Also,
Pervaded space also exerts an anti-gravity influence upon physical or linear gravity. Space can actually neutralize such gravity action, even though it cannot delay it. Absolute gravity is paradise gravity. Local or linear gravity pertains to the electrical stage of energy or matters. It operates within the central, super, and outer universes. Whenever suitable materialization has taken place. The numerous forms of cosmic force, physical energy, universe power, and various materializations disclose three general, though not perfectly clear-cut, stages of response to paradise gravity. Number one, pre-gravity stages. Force. This is the first step in the individualization of
Individuation.
space potency into the pre-energy form of cosmic force. This state of, can somebody pronounce that?
Analogous.
Analogous. This state is analogous to the concept of primordial force change of space, sometimes called pure energy or segregata.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that word.
Segregata. Let me just check.
Never heard of it.
segregata. Wow, it's kind of like that. Set apart from the rest or from each other. Ah, yeah, like I say, I see. Yeah, like segregation.
Segregate. Yeah.
Sounds Italian.
Yes.
Sounds like a dance. Let's do the segregata. Oh, yeah.
Number two, gravity stages, which is energy. This modification of the force change of space is
Charge. Force
charge.
charge.
Force charge of space is produced by the action of the Paradise Force organizers. It signalizes the appearance of energy system responsive to the pull of Paradise gravity.
Mm.
This emergent energy is originally neutral, but consequent upon further metamorphosis will exhibit the so-called negative and positive qualities. We designate these stages ultimata, aggregata ultimata.
Type of tomato.
Yes.
Uh,
And number three, post-gravity stages, which is like universe power. In this stage, energy matters discloses a response to the control of linear gravity. In the central universe, these physical systems are threefold organizations known to triata. Okay, segregata, ultimata, and triata. They are the superpower mother systems. We see, they're all feeling realms. They are superpower mother systems of the creations of time and space. They are the physical systems of the super universes are mobilized by the universe power directors and their associates. These material organizations are dual in constitution and are known as gravita. Segregata, ultimata, triata, and gravita. The dark gravity bodies encircle Havana. This I don't understand is gravity bodies. The dark gravity bodies encircle Havana at neither triata nor gravita, and their drawing power discloses both forms of physical gravity, linear and absolute. Yeah. Get that?
Sounds like a black hole.
Probably. Finding it very hard to read today.
mm.
Space potency is not subject to the interactions of any form of gravitation. This primal endowment of paradise is not an actual level of reality, but it is ancestral to all relative functions, non-spirit realities. All manifestations of force energy of the organization of power and matter. Space potency is a term difficult to define. It does not mean that which is ancestral to space. Its meaning should convey the idea of the potencies and the potentials existence within space. It may be roughly conceived to include all those absolute influences and potentials which emanate from paradise and constitute the space presence of the unqualified absolute. Okay, the last one. The paradise is the absolute source and the eternal force of point of all energy matters in the universe of universes. The unqualified absolute is the revealer, a regulator, and a repository of that which has paradise as its source and origin. The universal presence of the unqualified absolute seems to be equivalent to the concept of a potential infinity of gravity extension and elastic tension of paradise presence. This concept aids us in grasping the fact that everything is drawn inward towards paradise.
Mm.
The illustration is crude, but nonetheless helpful. It all explains why gravity always acts preferentially in a plane of perpendicular to the mass, and a phenomenon indicative
Yep.
of the differential dimensions of paradise and their surrounding creations. Oh my God. Oh, I really needed to hear that today.
Yeah, I can feel my eyes glazing over.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think the last two paragraphs I was like, couldn't find presents. Anyway, I think we're done, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pity because there's only one more section and then we're on to the next paper, but
Paper, huh?
Too
that's
much,
it.
isn't it?
I'm done. I can't do anymore.
Yeah.
I switched off. My mind switched off.
Yes.
Mm.
It's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah. Beautiful, guys. Well, thanks for coming.
Mm. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so nice.
Mm.
Glad we're doing this. I'm so glad we're doing this so kind of feelingly in a way.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, guys. I'm looking after a dog and I have to go and get it, so I better get going.
Oh, you'd better, Grandpa, or whatever you are. Whose dog is it?
It's just my best buddy. He's in Germany, and his daughter is there, but she works, and sometimes just don't want to leave him there for 8 hours alone.
Mm.
I've got him like 3 times a week.
It's cute.
And,
That's good. Dogs are pack animals. They like to have
yeah, and he's all
people
good
around.
if I'm around. But the minute I need to take a little break and lie down, if I go in bed, the dog goes crazy.
Oh.
Just stands there with this full attention and just squeals like, mm. Like,
Oh dear.
I'm just having a snooze. It's like, "Arr." So every time I want to have a snooze, I just take him back home. Fortunately, he's just around the corner.
That's
He's
funny.
absolutely hating it when I'm resting.
Oh boy.
All right, darlings. Thanks for sharing.
Uh,
Thanks for coming.
Mm.
We'll be seeing you on
yeah.
Sunday on this particular book. Otherwise, see you all pretty much on Saturday for the Course of Love read.
Yeah. All right.
Do you know, do you
Lovely to
know
see you.
what the
Thanks.
do you know what the plan is when we get to the end of the course of love again? Is there a
I guess
plan
we
or
should start again.
Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy because you just get more out of it every
Yeah.
time you
Yeah,
read it. There's
yeah,
always a deeper level. There's
Hmm.
yeah,
always
that's
another
right.
place it'll take you
Right.
because you
Fun.
can't take it all in at once.
Mm,
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
my experience of it.
The longer we read it, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just got to run, guys. Catch you
All
soon.
right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Bye.
See you.